This is County Executive Warren Evans, and this is Inside Wayne County.
Hello and welcome to Inside Wayne County. I'm your host, Lloyd Jackson, and this show is designed to give you important information and also to keep you informed about what's going on inside Wayne County government. Today, I'll take you inside the chambers of the Wayne County Commission, the legislative branch of Wayne County government. The chief role of the commission is to adopt a budget. The commission also approves contracts, appointments, and rules. There are 15 commissioners elected by district. To tell us more about the Wayne County Commission is its chairman, Gary Woronchak, from District 13, representing Dearborn and Allen Park. Mr. Chairman, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Lloyd. Good to be here.
You know, I always like to introduce my guests to the residents of Wayne County, so let's find out who Gary Woronchak is. Talk about where you grew up, your educational background, and your working background.
Okay, well, most of my life has been spent in Dearborn. I was born in Detroit, around 7 near DeQuinder. I have some late 1950s memories of the original Buddies, so
Oh, wow.
I have fond memories. And then we moved to Dearborn, where I was raised and went to school. Graduated from Edsel Ford High School, went to Henry Ford Community College in Dearborn, and then to the University of Michigan, Dearborn. After that, I had a newspaper career that spanned over 20 years,
Wow.
most of it at the Dearborn Press and Guide, where I was editor for most of my time there, and a year and a half as managing editor of the Daily Tribune in Royal Oak. And then in the mid-1990s, I was elected to the State House of Representatives as Dearborn's state representative, served the 6 years allowed by term limits there. And then in 2004, I was elected to the Wayne County Commission for a seat representing Dearborn, Allen Park, and at the time Melvindale. My district currently includes Dearborn and Allen Park.
And you have been on the commission for how long?
This is my 11th year on the commission. I'm chairman of the commission, so I've been chairman for 4.5 years, or almost 5 years now, and that's a pretty big role unto itself.
Talk about the duties of the chairman. We know there are other commissioners, but you are the chairman. What are the duties outside of just being a commissioner?
Right, along with being the commissioner representing Dearborn and Allen Park, my colleagues on the commission have elected me to be chair of the commission. And as chair, I kind of keep it organized. I oversee the central staff of the Wayne County Commission. We have a policy division, we have finance division, legal division, communications, and others. So I oversee the staff that we have. I also help set the budget. I schedule the meetings. I preside over all regular commission meetings and all committee of the whole meetings. I make committee assignments. A lot of our work is done in committee, and I assign people to committees, and I assign the chairs of those committees. So every 2 years, at the beginning of a new term, the Wayne County Commissioners will elect from among them a chair, and it's been my good fortune to be a chair now for, this is my 3rd term that my colleagues have chosen me to kind of lead the commission and set the direction.
Now, I understand that Wayne County was Michigan's first charter
That's correct.
county.
That's correct.
And then that was back in '81. And then in 2009, Macomb County came on board.
Right.
As a charter. Now there's a county executive for Wayne County, there's a county executive for Macomb County, but there's also one for Oakland County, but Oakland County is not a charter county. Explain that.
It's more of a general law. See, now, most of the counties, and people that live in Wayne County may not know this, but most of Michigan's counties are governed entirely by their county commission, the county board of commissioners. Larger counties under state law were allowed to either become a charter county or to become the kind of a general law county that has a county executive elected by the people. And as you pointed out, Oakland County is that sort of a county, as is Bay County.
Okay.
So there are 2 charter counties, as you pointed out. Wayne County was the pioneer in this. We were the only charter county for a long time. And by charter county, I mean that there was a charter commission elected by the people of Wayne County that devised the county charter. And the county charter was then approved by the people of Wayne County. And in many ways, the county charter is like a city charter or the state constitution. It sets the framework for the government that we operate under. As I said, most counties just have the county board of commissioners. We have 2 branches of county government, the executive and the legislative, and we're the legislative branch. I tell people who ask for a quick explanation. It's not unlike a city council mayor relationship, where we have a chief executive officer. Our county executive is kind of like the mayor of the county, if you want to put it in those terms. And the county commission is the city council of the county, other than the fact that we're elected in districts, individual districts, so that not only are we the check and balance on the administration as the legislative branch, but we also individually are the direct representatives of the people that live in our districts into county government.
So if a person in your district has a problem, it probably would behoove them to come right to
That's
you.
correct. If people have a problem getting through to the county treasurer, or have a question about this county service, or want to report a problem with a road or something, they'll call their county commissioner, and their county commissioner will look into that for them.
Now, Chair, the county executive, he submits a contract or a budget or an appointment, and some, not all appointments, but some have to come through the commission. How does that work?
Right. The executive branch will submit contracts and other things to the county commission, and then we put it through our process. It comes in through the chair's office. It's referred to a committee. We have 8 standing committees, and the committees deal with specific ranges of things: general government operations, economic development. We have a budget committee, the Ways and Means Committee. We have a committee that deals with Health and Human Services, and a few other committees. So depending on what the contract is, I'll assign it to that committee, so that the committee will meet, and then the committee will do the analysis and do the hard questions and the due diligence on the individual contracts.
And how many are in the committees? How many members are in the committees?
Generally 7 members on a committee. So I'll try to apportion them so that everybody has the same number of committees that they're serving on. And then the committees will take up a number of contracts or ordinances or resolutions at their meetings, and then they'll do a committee report. And that committee report indicates that the committee is satisfied with these items as they're presented. We've asked the right questions. We're now sending it to the full county commission for approval. And then when we have our regular county commission meetings, which are on the first and third Thursday of each month in the Guardian building, that's when we take up each of the individual reports from committees. So we do a lot of business, but we do it in an organized fashion. And as you know, there are a lot of contracts that come through Wayne County, so we have to have it organized like that.
The county executive recently sent a budget, and that budget was approved by the commission. Are you
That's right.
pretty happy with the way the budget is right at this point?
Well, I'm satisfied with that the budget is going to put us in the right direction of getting out of the financial problems that we're in. This year in particular, with the new county executive, has been a very busy year and a year of many changes in Wayne County, largely because of the involvement of the state of Michigan in working with the county and devising a consent agreement, which is a framework for the county to work under to get out from under the financial problems that we've had while maintaining the control with the local elected officials. Different than, for example, in a community where the state will declare a financial emergency and put an emergency manager in charge. In this case, the county executive, with some input by the county commission, was able to negotiate with the state a consent agreement that maintained our local control as long as we follow the guidelines that we've set forth in order to alleviate the financial emergency. That by state law, that required the approval of the county commission, and we were pretty satisfied with the way the consent agreement was drafted, and we look forward to using it as our roadmap to get out of the financial problems that we've had. People don't necessarily know why the county got into the financial difficulty that it did, because they think that it could be related to some of the larger scale problems that the county's had over the past few years under the previous administration. But the truth of the matter is, Lloyd, that the property tax revenue has dropped dramatically since the housing market collapsed in the latter part of the last decade. And in fact, the county is, the biggest problem that the county has financially is not any of the mischief or misdeeds that people may have read about in the papers, but the fact is that we have like $100 million a year less to work with in order to provide the services that we're mandated to providing.
And because the Headley and all of that, it takes a longer time for you to get that money back once the
Right.
housing market starts going back up.
That's correct. We lost roughly, I think, 20% of our revenue from taxes, but because of Proposal A and the Headley Amendment, even as property values recover, we can only recover the rate of inflation or 5%, whichever is less, every year. So it would take a good long time to get back to the levels that we were at in 2009, 2008. So we're trying to make do with less. We have services we have to provide, and that we intend to provide with the same level that we always have. People sometimes don't view county government as one that they're familiar with, because it's different from a city government. A city government, you see the trash trucks come by, they pick up your trash.
Right.
Police, fire come by. You see where your city taxes go. School taxes, you see you have schools in your district. But the county government is a little more mysterious to people. Other than the road work we do in maintaining and plowing roads, a lot of the county services are important, big services, but they're concentrated downtown, like our county clerk, our county treasurer, our register of deeds, important functions mandated by the state, certainly no more important than our public safety functions with the sheriff and the prosecutor, and the sheriff being in charge of running the jail. So that's where your county tax dollars go. People don't always recognize that these are county services, and so I've been trying to educate people in my district and elsewhere about what county government provides for them, and to that end, I've put together a booklet called The Citizen Guide to Wayne County Government with the help of my public information staff, and it's available from any commissioner. They all have copies of it that they can distribute, and people can ask to have a copy sent to them so they can get a better idea of how county government operates, the services we provide, and how we became a charter county, what the charter means, that sort of thing. So I've been trying to help increase awareness about Wayne County. I'd like people to be aware that the commission has its own web page on the county's website on waynecounty.com/commission. It has a map of the entire county. You can click on the area that you live in. If you don't know who your commissioner is, that'll tell you who represents your area. Because as you pointed out, we have 15 commissioners.
Absolutely.
We're
yes.
in equally apportioned districts population-wise. So, you know, as chair of the commission, I may get a call from somebody in Plymouth, but then I refer them to the commissioner who represents Plymouth or Livonia or Westland, that sort of thing.
Now, I understand too that you put together an ethics task force that led to an ethics ordinance.
Yes.
Was that something that was long overdue that Wayne County never had, or was it precipitated by maybe some things that have been happening?
That's a very good question. And I am proud of the fact that we have an ethics ordinance in Wayne County now and a board of ethics that can hear ethical complaints. We were actually working on an ethics ordinance prior to all of the problems of the prior administration coming to light. So that didn't lead to us doing the ordinance, but it certainly was timely. But it's for the first time Wayne County appropriately has a system set up so that if there are ethical questions or people have complaints or want clarification, they have some place they can go in order to have that aired. And that also is on the county website at waynecounty.com. People can find out information about the Board of Ethics and the ethics ordinance that we put together.
There are also commissioners that have kind of like open office hours where they kind of go into their districts and they have like an open office hours for people to come in and talk to them about. Is that something that's done with all the commissioners? Is it?
That's individual.
Individual
basis, and
it's not required like in a charter or anything like that.
No, not at all. But some commissioners do have office hours. They hold at local coffee shops, that sort of thing. So if people have questions or problems, they can come and talk to their commissioner directly. I use email a lot. I don't have email go through staff like some elected officials do. Email comes direct to me, so that's a good way for people to get a hold of me directly and have one-on-one communication. In my district, Dearborn and Allen Park, and especially Dearborn, where I've spent most of my life and career, I'm not hard to find. And I think that's the case for most of our commissioners. Many of our commissioners, 8 out of the 15, so a small majority, are actually former state legislators. And because of term limits, legislators are moved out of the state legislature after the time that they've spent there. And then if their voters agree that they've done a good job, they can put them on the Wayne County Commission.
How beneficial is that for them to have had that?
I think it's great experience. I think it really benefits the people of Wayne County to have, all of our commissioners are great and they do a great job, but we have a number who have had that level of experience, some for a long time, of working at the state level. We have people who have been city officials. So we have a broad range of experience on the Wayne County Commission that helps us in dealing with all levels of government, and we have a pretty good idea how things work.
And I'm thinking too that with that experience, if there are some things that the commission needs as far as trying to get information, if you have people who have kind of had some type of connection with the state, that will be able to help get that information.
Sure, and in fact, we've actually lobbied on behalf of legislation that helps Wayne County. Those of us who have contacts in the legislature have been able to use that to the county's advantage. So overall, we have a pretty good mix of experience on the county commission, and I think we serve the people well.
And as the chair, there's also though like a vice chair. Is that correct?
That's correct. Alicia Bell, commissioner from Detroit, is our vice chair. Jewel Ware is the vice chair pro tem. These are also positions elected by the commission.
And that's where I was getting to. Those are all elected by the commission.
Yeah, there's no. It's not these aren't rotating positions where it's your turn. These aren't like in the city of Dearborn. It's the highest vote getter becomes council president. Right. That's not the case with the county commission. We're elected by our colleagues, and we've had the same leadership team in place for a few terms now. And it seems to work pretty well. We have a good mix of experience. Vice Chair Bell and Vice Chair Pro Tem Ware have been commissioners longer than I have been, so their experience is valuable in being part of the leadership team and in representing their people.
How important is it to have those two ladies as the Vice Chair and Pro Tem, and not only that, but to have them, they would succeed you if something were to
That's
happen.
correct.
That's the succession.
Right. And if I'm not available to chair a meeting, or if by some chance I wasn't able to serve as the chair of the commission, then Alicia Bell, as our vice chair, would step up and do that. And I'm sure that she would absolutely do a very fine job at that as well.
Tell me, what's in store for the Commissionaire? Is there any items, any issues that you would like to see down the line, maybe tackled by the commission?
I think that we've tackled a lot of issues this year so far. With the new executive team, and there's some great experience from other walks of life on that executive team, and we're getting to know each other. I think looking into the short term, we need to continue building relationships with the executive branch, especially with this not state oversight, but state involvement in the county finances. The executive branch and the legislative branch need to be able to operate as a team, but we also can't forget our primary role. I mean, our system of government is set up with different branches of government so that no one branch becomes so powerful that you have problems with that branch. So our main role is to make sure that the administration, we're the check and balance that we learn about in civics class, and to make sure that all the county ordinances and proper procurement rules and such are followed when we're doing contracts. And that's our primary goal. As we move forward into the latter part of this year and we get into the next year, we just want to make sure that we adhere to this consent agreement that we've entered into with the state, and we want to get out from under the consent agreement and get on with the business of governing Wayne County.
And the residents of Wayne County, they need to know that that you guys are open.
Yes.
They can come and be part, have their voices heard at commission meetings.
Right. The commission meetings are held at the Guardian Building in downtown Detroit. Our committee meetings are held on the 7th floor, which is where the commission offices are. But the main meetings, the regular meetings of the commission are on the mezzanine level right off of the main lobby. I have to admit that the Guardian Building is not the most citizen-friendly for getting downtown and parking and such, but we certainly encourage people to come down and take a look at what we do. And always we're available for coming out into the district. Sometimes we have meetings out county areas just to expose people to what the county commission does. And but most of them are at the Guardian building, and again, they're the first and third Thursday of every month generally. And our meetings start at 10 o'clock.
And they can go online and get more information.
Absolutely. WayneCounty.com/commission. There's a lot of information about the Wayne County Commission and each individual commissioner.
All right. Gary Woronchak, Commission Chair, thank you so much for being here on
My
Inside
pleasure.
Wayne County.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for upcoming shows as I take you inside Wayne County departments and introduce you to the people in charge and the many services they provide. It's all with the goal of keeping you up to date with everything going on inside Wayne County. I'm Lloyd Jackson. See you next time.